So in this next section, I want to share a little bit about the paradigms of a sourced leader and what it is that we anchor back to. Ashlie calls it truing yourself up. Like, what do I need to do to true myself up? And one of the things we are creating new this year is actually an immersion for our source leaders that's just about that. Like, okay, let's just look, where do we need to true ourselves up? Because we need to be doing this work continually. And if we don't, something will show up to kind of force us to do the work, right? But if it's a practice of just, oh, how do I need to true myself up? It's a little bit easier. All right, so the 5 paradigms of a sourced leader. Actually, we can just leave them up and I'll let you know. Okay. My energy creates my reality. My energy creates my reality. So again, if you're like something's feeling off, you can ask yourself, okay, if my energy creates my reality, what's, now what? But also you are empowered to create with your energy. So the more we're active participants in what we're creating, the more we're creating the playground that we want. So within this, as a source leader, we believe in the power of shifting the field. That truly, like the work Lynn did earlier, that is tangible and real in her life. And believe that it's possible for everyone. Now, if someone doesn't want to transform, that's okay. Doesn't mean we judge that or think, come on, get it together. Your energy is creating this. What's wrong with you? None of that. Okay. And we really do believe it's possible. Like the default energy is past trying to control the future, but source energy is in the present, which means that where someone is right now has nothing to do with where they'll be or where they're going. If they, and unless they want it to, right? We get to shift our energy and create a new reality. And we don't have to. And there's nothing wrong with the reality that our energy has created. It's really an art form as a leader to hold the awareness. Oh, isn't it interesting that I'm drawing this in, while at the same time having no judgment about what you're drawing in. That's like to me, that's the highest evolution of that. Number 2, I believe in a transformational model of leadership. So for the most part, at this point, we work with coaches and consultants, creatives, healers, therapists, professionals in various service-based fields to integrate transformation into the way they work. And being a transformational leader can happen wherever you are. So a transformational model of leadership, one of the principles of that we like to model is transforming out loud. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I have it all together. I'm not going to try to be some version of myself that I'm not. I am going to share my process as best as I understand it, so that we can normalize this experience of being human and working with our energy. We at Sourced use the anatomy to build projects, to build the energy of a project or a launch. So this event arose in going like this. Ooh, what's something we're working on that, like, oh yeah, if we let that go, what could we create here? I remember the first time we did this, Julie and I and a woman that used to work with us named Janet, the 3 of us were getting together to do some planning. And we started with, okay, what's our desire? What's our personal desire? What's our desire as a company? What's our discomfort? What are the, the places where we're like feeling edgy or like we're not loving things? Let's just get present with this gap. Like, how committed are we to shifting this? And then we looked at, what are we not seeing? What's true that we haven't been acknowledging that has us not have this desire, that has us have this discomfort? And it doesn't matter what level you're at, there's always a desire or discomfort, right? Because human beings are part of nature, and nature is programmed for more life. So we're always growing. So we always have a desire or discomfort. And then we said, okay, and we could see some ways. I can't remember our sourced energy words, Julie, you might, but we started to see ways we were sort of like being real accommodating in certain places. Like, oh, you need to change this. Okay. Oh, you need whatever. Like, we're very service oriented, but it was in a way that was not serving us. And it actually wasn't serving the people, because we were just kind of like, okay, we'll do the thing. And Julie, do you remember the sourced energy words? It was like unreasonable or it was something like kind of funny, but we created a new possibility as a way of being as a team. And then we looked at our project list and prioritized based on the new energy. So that's a transformational model of leadership. If you're leading a team, it's like, okay, each human is bringing something to the space. Like, let's acknowledge that. Let's get real about that and get everybody enrolled in what we're creating, rather than just check things off the list. I practice healthy compassion. And I'm just going to share this. This is new. I'm playing with this. So I went on a retreat years ago. It was one of my clients. It was quite a few years ago. And she is an intuitive. And she wanted to teach other people how to do what she did, because she was getting older and she wanted to build a legacy. She wanted to empower more people to work the way she works based on everything that she had learned. And so I was helping her develop this certification. And the retreat was called, Am I a Healer? And I was like, I want to go to this retreat. So I went to her retreat. And on the retreat, we were doing it was a lot of intuitive exercises. It was really fun. And I got these words. We were in meditation, and I got these words across the screen of my mind. And it said, Healthy Compassion Network. And I was like, what the heck is that? I had never heard this phrase. I didn't know what it meant. And, I spent a short little while in panic, like, am I supposed to create this? What does this mean? What do I do with this? And then I just decided to make it a field of study. And so I was doing retreats and having, my people come to my own retreats. And so I decided to add this conversation as like a bonus conversation at my retreats. And I wrote healthy compassion on the board. And I said, what does this mean to you? And then we crowdsourced this concept of healthy compassion. Like, I had a sense of it. I knew it had something to do with boundaries as a service provider and helping people. But it was like, had never thought those two words together before. So I just started to do this at retreats and kind of collect, what does this mean? We now have compassion magic as one of our magics. And, the number one tool of a compassion magician is boundaries. So it's been developed over time with humans. And so for whatever reason, I decided today to play with a way to talk about this. Because when we think of our heart and being loyal to our heart, how do we do that? Right? Well, healthy compassion is how we do this, how we be loyal to our heart. So let's say you are here. By the way, I've never taught this before, so I don't know how this is going to land, but we'll find out. So you're here. I've practiced it a lot. I've just never taught it. So you're here and they're here. Let's say this is your client, for example. And there's this boundary between you. But it is breathing. And permeable. And it gives you the ability to sample this energy. Okay. Over here, there's space. Right? There's space between you and the boundary, and then them. Space for magic to show up, space for you to tune in and hear your soul. Space. Because when we're like bombarded by all the energies, we can't really hear it, right? You have healthy boundaries. You trust your knowing, or you're learning to trust your knowing. Because it's so much easier to learn to trust your knowing when you're in your own energy than all the influences, right? From here, you can look over here and you can say, I see you. You can sample the energy and you can decide, I'm available for this or that, or I'm not available for this or that. Now they're over here and maybe they have pain. They have a problem. They have a frustration. They have default energy filters that they're seeing you through. They also have joy and fun and life, right? They're humaning, you're humaning. And you get to sample the energy, give yourself space, give yourself love and support, honor what you need, and ask yourself, what am I available for here in this? Do I see any possibility here? And then another really great question is, how is my muscle for this right now? In other words, there was a time where if I would be with my mom, I would spiral into self-doubt for an extended period of time. And now I have a good muscle for it. So my mom can mom the way she moms, and I can still stay in my energy. But that wasn't always the case. And there may be a time where, like, if my energy's low, if I'm depleted in some way, or I got something else going on, I don't call mom, right? Because my muscle for it's not great at that time. So you can ask yourself that and then decide, how do you want to play? And you can make an invitation, right, to what you're available for. Come play with me over here on a field of light. Come to my playground. And it doesn't always have to be your playground. It's not that kind of thing. It might be, hey, do we want to co-create a playground? But the point is, first you say, what am I available for here? What's my muscle for this? So number 4, the fourth paradigm is, my desire is supported by the universe. My desire is supported by the universe. One of the universal laws I learned in my first coaching program was the law of polarity, which states where the desire is present, the way to fulfill it is also present. So the way David would talk about it is, there's not an up without a down. There's not a down without an up. There's not a cold without a hot. There's not a black without a white. On, off, right? everything in nature has its equal and opposite. So your desire has a way that is equal in magnitude to your desire. And it can't not be there. Your desire is supported by the universe. I didn't believe this at all. Like, you expansion magicians are like, yep, yeah, preach, right? And for me, it was, that doesn't feel true to me. I was like, I get nature, but like, how is that true for me? How is it true that if I want something, that there's a way to get it? How is that true? Because that was not my experience growing up. My experience was, first of all, why do you want that? And then no, right? There was no creation possible there. And so I really had to work at that to understand that my desire is supported by the universe. And because it was connected to nature, I was like, oh, okay, well, I could see that. Yeah, that feels true. That's probably true. Here's people who have, lives like I want, who think that's true. So let me try it out. And I practiced for a while. Oh gosh, I really want this thing. Oh gosh, I can't afford this thing. Oh my gosh, I really want this thing. Do I just do the thing? And going, how, where are the people, right? So I was running a business. So in my world, it was, where are the clients that would allow this to be possible? And when I came from a certainty, it has to be there, it was always there. It's never not been there. I've been in business 14 years. It's never not been there. There have certainly been times when things have happened for me in my financial world, which is only one form of abundance, where I was like, oh shit, is it still going to keep working? But it's literally never not worked for me. When the desire is present, the way is present. All that we need and desire for our playground is available to us. The only thing in the way is our lack of belief. Well, the first thing in the way is our lack of belief, right? We have to believe that that's true, first of all, and then we have to open our eyes and look around and go, oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. And source will always tell us where it is. Source will always tell us where it is. But then we have to believe it and follow through. So source might say, like I was saying with Julie, source told her go put $10 in a bank account. And she's like, what the hell? That makes no sense. But she listened, and it led to a continual stream of new business. But it didn't make sense. And sometimes the thing source is saying is be a thought leader, start a podcast, ask someone to promote you. And we go, yeah, but let me make a new website first. Let me do these other 6 things, and then I'll ask that person to promote me, even though that's the one thing that I was told. Where the desire is present, the way is present. The last paradigm is I trust and make space for my magic. So we had a conversation about magic yesterday. And we had a little sampling of practicing some magics. I'm hoping we can do the other breakout tomorrow, maybe tonight. It's like, it's a dance. I trust my magic and I make space for my magic, and then I trust it and then I make more space for it. And often what I find is we can intellectually know, oh yeah, I have that way that I know things. And then we just justify staying too busy to hear it. Anyone? For me, I mean, now I'm pretty quick with if I need to make a decision, if I need to create something, I have my place where I sit and my, rituals and options and my big paper. And man, for the longest time, it was like, I used to write on my resolutions or what, in the new year. Have a consistent morning routine. And I wrote that for years. And it's like, okay, I know if I just like did the things to make space for me, my life would transform, and I didn't do it. Because when our magic starts talking, then we have to act on it. And so it's like, shut it down, shut it down. So I trust and make space for my magic. How many of you, like left to your own devices, you worry you won't do that? Well, guess what? That's what we do. So I would love to tell you about how you could make space for your magic in the next year in a conversation about our Source Leader program, where we create space for leaders like you to open up to their magic.